What's up, Jet heads, and welcome back into Vinny and the Jets. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Guys, I'm at 90 subscribers, and I really beg of you to hit that subscribe button, share the video to your mainstream media, tell your friends about it. My goal is to try to hit 100 subscribers, sooner than later, so I can get my own URL here and get more Jets content and NFL content out to you. So that being said, sorry about the delay with tonight's episode. Things ran a little late. What we're going to discuss is the 2022 NFL Draft pertaining to the Jets, how the NFL Draft Board is going to shake out in the top 4 specifically, with the New York Jets selecting at 4, and also 2 possible draft day scenarios and how our boys should react in each scenario. And leave me your feedback of what you think, whether you agree or disagree. I love a good, healthy debate either way. So let's get right into it. Right now, the Jets own 9 draft selections getting into 2022, 4 of which are in the top 38. You don't necessarily need to pick all those picks. You can move up and package picks to get the guy you really need, or you can move back and you can just acquire more essentials and assets going into 2023 and just keep stacking these picks. The more multiple first and second rounders you get, the more you can build this roster, keep everyone on cheap deals, and let the team grow as the years go on. So round 1, we're at pick 4. That's our selection. We're at pick 10. That's the selection we got in the Jamal Adams trade via Seattle. Round 2, we're at 35, and then 38 via Carolina because of Sam Darnold. Thank you very much. Round 3, we have pick 69. Round 4, we have 104 because of Sam Darnold. Thank you again. 113 because of Chris Herndon via Minnesota. Round 5, pick 144, and then once again in round 5 because of Avery Williamson, can't talk tonight, via the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's get into it. How is this draft board going to shake out? Pick number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everyone has them either looking at Hutchinson or Thibodeau. Well, I have a surprise shocker for you. I firmly believe that they are going to stay put at number 1, and they're not taking either one of those guys. If I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, whomever that they hire as their new head coach, you need to protect your franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And I actually think they shock the league, and they take Evan Neal, the tackle out of Alabama. If he fell to 4 to us, I would be totally okay getting him at 4, and then have him compete with Mekhi Becton of who's going to be on the left side, who's going to be on the right side, and you keep George Fant as the swing tackle again. He's definitely earned the right to stay on this team, but we'll get into that later. But I think Evan Neal goes number 1 to the Jaguars. And why do I say this? Well, Thibodeau and Hutchinson are rumored as the 2 best players in this draft. But this is what I argue to you. Why would you get another pass rusher when you just drafted Josh Allen a couple years ago in the first round? And you also got Myles Jack. It doesn't make any sense. You need another third edge guy? It doesn't make any sense. Build the offensive line and protect that kid, because he had an awful year running for his life week in and week out. So Neal, number 1. Number 2, Detroit Lions are on the clock, and they have needs all over the place. This is where I think Aiden Hutchinson ends up going. Why? He's a Michigan kid. He's the local kid right there, and he gets to play for his hometown Lions, and he gets to try to stop the bleeding on that defense. And it almost seems like it's a perfect fit. So keep the Michigan kid in Michigan. I'm sure they're going to love him in Pontiac, rooting for playing for the hometown Lions. Pick number 3. Now, this gets interesting. The Houston Texans are on the board. They also still don't have a coach. Nick Caserio, I think, is very convinced that he's got something there with David Mills, and I think he earned the right to get another year as the starting quarterback with this team. That being said, I find it hard to believe they would reach and overdraft somebody like Kenny Pickett. It's a very, very thin QB class. You got a couple other guys out there. Maybe 3 at most go first round, and that's really a reach. I think it's only 2. But Kenny Pickett will be the first QB off the board. I don't anticipate the Texans picking him, especially 3rd overall. I've read online that the pick is for sale, so all bets off. They'll listen to offers for anyone who wants to, go up there and reach if they believe that Pickett is their guy. But I think they're going to stay put. I think they're going to take, who did I have here? They are going to take Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame. Why? Some experts out there actually believe that he's the best player in this draft. He could do it all. He's a true ball hawk. I think he's Jamal Adams' like what we expected Jamal Adams to be, not the selfish money hungry prick who can't even catch a ball. I mean, that dude is terrible. But Kyle Hamilton, pound for pound, I mean, he's everything that he's advertised going to be. So Texans taking the safety. I think they stay put unless they're blown away by some deal from another team looking to jump up and grab a quarterback. Stranger things have happened, but I wouldn't rule it out. That being said, Jets are on the board, and it just broke perfectly for us. And guess what? Kayvon Thibodeau is there at 4. The Jets are staying put. I don't expect them to move up. I read online there's a rumor that would they sacrifice a second-round pick, maybe 35th overall, to the Texans to move up one slot. We have so many holes to address on this team. I don't want to sacrifice anything in terms of moving up. It's just not the right time. It's totally inappropriate. Sometimes the board will just shake out the way you want it to. You can't let them put fear into you into just biting. For the sake of moving up one slot, it's not worth it. No matter what, you're picking 4th overall. Even if Thibodeau goes to the Texans, you're gonna get an impact player. Take Karlaftis, the other pass rusher from Purdue, the Greek freak. Take him. Or take Cross, the other offensive tackle. Move back if you don't feel comfortable that the value isn't there, 4th overall, and get more assets. But I really would not be shocked if Thibodeau actually fell to us without having to do anything at all. And if it does shake out that way, to you Jets fans that were pissed off and rooting for them to lose, shame on you. Because guess what? You still ended up getting the pick that we needed all in the end. So, moving forward now to pick number 10th overall, the Seattle pick we inherited from the Jamal Adams trade. I got 2 scenarios for you guys to really think about what could possibly happen going 10th overall. Scenario number 1, you trade back and you get more draft capital. And what I mean by that is definitely Pickett at this point is off the board. So, or maybe he's not off the board. I think he would be, but this is who you have behind you that could possibly be looking for a quarterback that wants to jump into spot 10. You got the Washington football team at 11. Taylor Heineke is not the answer. You got the Minnesota Vikings at 12. Kirk Cousins' contract has been the biggest disaster in the history of the National Football League. $90 million, they couldn't even get to the NFC Championship game, let alone a Super Bowl. That dude's a piece of shit, and everybody knows it. Number 13, you got the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield, I think, is completely overrated. I mean, I think he's a starter in this league. I just don't think he's a championship caliber quarterback. I think he's got a major attitude, and I just don't see him as a leader. I don't see them picking up his option, and I don't see them giving him an extension. Don't be shocked if he gets traded. And number 18, you got the New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston, I don't see him as the long-term resolution at all. He was brought there originally to back up Drew Brees. They weren't a playoff team. I think they're going to start over. And then finally, you go down to number 20 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not official, but I think Roethlisberger's played his last game. Hell of a career. Steelers know how to find talent. They're one of the few franchises that I really respect when it comes to, finding your own homegrown talent. Teams like the Steelers, the Packers, the 49ers, they don't pay guys from the outside. They find them within their own. And that's the way I wish the Jets would start doing it. But if I'm the Jets and one of these teams want to jump up, ideally you want to trade to the other conference. I don't want to help the Steelers. Hell, I don't want to help the Browns. But if a team like Washington or even New Orleans wants to move up, get that quarterback or that special player, whomever it may be that they're looking for, take the deal. Because guess what? Ideally, I would hope for it to be Washington. Because if they move up that one spot, you move back, you get an extra pick, possibly one in 2023 in the first round, and you could still get the center from Iowa in Tyler Linderbaum. Wow. And that right there, the draft has barely started, and you've already hit 2 home runs. That would be a dream come true scenario. That's what I really would want to happen, but it might not necessarily play out that way. So that's scenario number 1 with a trade back. Scenario number 2, the Jets shop the pick for an established player. Now, I don't like the idea of giving up a first-round pick unless you're getting somebody who's going to make an impact day 1 and can play 17 games. So I got 3 players that come to mind. The first one is the one all Jets fans are talking about. Calvin Ridley with the Atlanta Falcons. He's only 27 years old. And yes, he's coming off of a year where he only played 5 games. He's got something going on with his mental health. Very, very serious issue I wouldn't want to dismiss. If Atlanta was very serious about possibly making a deal, I'd like for the front office and the coaching staff to be able to talk to Ridley straight up and say, listen, do you want to start over? Do you need a change of scenery? Do you really want to play football? I mean, that's the thing I've admired about Joe Douglas is he wants football guys that eat, breathe, and shit football 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So you really got to figure out what's going on with Calvin Ridley. Is it something that can be fixed? Can you get someone that could talk him through it? Is his heart really into it? Because if his heart's not into it, you just move on. You know what I mean? There's other talent out there you can acquire, or hell, just stay put and take the pick. But think about it. He had a so-so year because he only played 5 games and then he took off to address whatever was going on with himself and his personal health. But go back to 2020. Just listen to these numbers. Kid is a freaking beast. 90 catches, 1,374 yards through the air, 9 touchdowns. When was the last time a New York Jets receiver put up numbers like that? I don't think I can remember. I really can't. So ideally, that's my first choice. Like I said, pending that, his mental health is there and his heart's truly into it. And that's a big deal. Option number 2, which I don't know how likely it is. Are the Seattle Seahawks going to blow it up? Are they going to start all over and tear the roster down, especially if Russell Wilson is on the move? If Wilson is on the move with Seattle, I think DK Metcalf is on the table too. DK Metcalf is only 24 years old. He's barely hit his prime. Last year alone, he had 75 catches, 967 through the air, and 12 touchdowns. This dude is a freak of nature. He's huge. He's a big-bodied receiver. He's built like T.O. I mean, this is the guy that's going to win those 50-50 balls down the middle and really take the top off of a defense. Like, who's going to cover that guy? This is the type of receiver that a defensive coordinator is going to stay up all night on Saturday figuring out, how are we going to stop this guy? Do we have to double him up? Do we have to press him? Do we have to play more of a cover zone? And he's a freak of nature. Now, that all depends whether or not they really ship him. And here's another thing to consider. Do they want to ship him to the Jets and just end up with even more egg on their face to say, please give us our number 10 pick back that we shipped to you for Jamal Adams, the most overrated safety in the league? Selfish prick, money-hungry bastard. But again, that's a story for another day. But I would welcome DK Metcalf here with open arms. Love it. The third possibility that I wrote down here on my notes, which I don't know how likely it is, would be Amari Cooper. Now, the thing appealing with Amari Cooper is he's only 27. This year, he had 68 catches for 865 yards, and he had 8 touchdowns. Not bad, considering, Dallas has a very dynamic offense and a very, very, very deep roster offensively with weapons. But the thing is with Jerry Jones is you can't pay everyone at the end of the day. Dak Prescott's making $40 million a year. They gave $50 million not too long ago to a broken down running back in Ezekiel Elliott. His production is just going to go down from here. I don't know why you pay a running back. I mean, better them than us. And Schultz is going to be out there. That's another guy I'd love the Jets to target. But again, you can't pay everybody. And they did sign Amari Cooper to a $100 million contract once they traded him from the Raiders. So my concern with that is if he's going to be making 20 next year, would he be willing to restructure the contract and take less? You're already paying Corey Davis somewhere in the market of like $13-14 million. You're not going to pump $35 million into 2 receivers. You're just not. It never happens. But if he'd be willing to restructure, I'd love to know what the trade compensation would be to bring Amari Cooper to New York City. Again, Dallas can't pay everybody, and there's going to be changes there, especially with the debacle that happened there last week. And didn't I call that? I said that was my upset special. I told you Dak Prescott is no good. So, that being said, guys, that's my preview with the draft as it is right now. I would be thrilled to have Kayvon Thibodeau here. and Tyler Linderbaum at center. I think if they decide to stay put in the first round, I think you got to take an impact player on defense, because the defense is absolutely atrocious now. And you got to take another impact player on offense and give Zach Wilson more help if you want to see him take that next step forward in being the franchise player that we all hope to God he can, ends up being. So thanks for listening. Again, I do apologize for the lateness of the video. Things were crazy today. I am going to be doing a playoff preview for this weekend for the divisional round. Another video coming separately. So once this drops, I'll be shooting that one. So be sure to tune in. Again, like I said, just like the video, share it to who you know, not just, a Jets fan, but any football fan. We're doing our best here to get to 100 subscribers. And I thank you all for your loyalty. I'll talk to you again next time.